Hi guys. Let's hope this works. Second time's a charm, right? So I have chapter 6 of Cultivating Knowledge, Building Language. This fun book here. I hope you can hear me. Sorry, I'm still a little under the weather. The title of my chapter is Develop Academic Vocabulary Knowledge by studying a small set of by studying a small set of words deeply. Okay, so first we're going to start our academic vocabulary categories. There's two of them that we're going to divide our words into. Your general words, which are typically words used in writing across many academic disciplines. Some of the examples of those words are words like environment, exhibit, investigate, factor, transition, provide. Your general words are words that can be used for multiple content areas and academic disciplines. Your other category is content specific. Your content specific words are unique words that are particular to an academic discipline. So, for instance, your math. The suggested words are pi and commutative. Those are words that are pretty content specific or academic discipline specific to math. Then we have diode and atom, and again, those are pretty content specific to physics. You're not going to see those in many other areas or text. So that's why there's those two categories that we're going to categorize our words into. Okay, so like I said, our chapter is called Developing Academic Vocabulary Knowledge by studying a small set of words deeply. So, what this means, by studying a small set of words deeply, it's going to give us a better understanding of the word for one. Students' comprehension and general academic text. For students to comprehend the academic text, they need to understand the word on a pretty deep level. So they need to have a rich understanding of what the word means. They need to know how that specific word relates to other words. And they need to know how to use it in multiple contents. So if you were to say that you understood the word habitat deeply, for a student to understand that word deeply, they need to know it. I'm very visual, so I need to be able to hear a word and see it kind of in my head. They would need to know how that word relates to other words. If they're talking about their habitat, they can use examples and synonyms and descriptions to be able to describe that word and paint that picture for somebody else. And they need to know how to use it in different contents areas. And that's how you would be able to know if someone has if a student has a rich understanding of what that word is, and they can really understand that meaning of it instead of just it's a place that animals live, right? Because we definitely know that there's more to that. So I chose to use an example of football. When I first read this chapter, I'll be honest, I thought about jumping into the deep end of a pool and having the tools that you need to get to the other end. And that was fine 3 days ago, but today's Sunday and it's football day, and so hi, football. So one of the thoughts that went through my head was, does knowing the rules and the players or the franchise history affect your understanding and experience when watching the game? Well, no, not really. I don't need to know where Russell Wilson started his career to be able to enjoy watching him play football. I don't need to know any of the franchise history, really. It doesn't affect anything. The players are the players, right? But the vocabulary is a little bit different. Does understanding the difference between encroachment, false start, and neutral zone infraction change your understanding of the game? Because those are very specific to the game, they do. if you were to read a text and you were to, or listen to the radio and hear that a flag or a penalty went down and it was a neutral zone infraction, if you didn't know what it meant, you wouldn't know when the clock stopped. You wouldn't know whether it was the offense or the defense. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between how many yards the penalty is going to be because you don't know the word. So it does. Knowing the words and the terms and how to use them, they make a big difference. And so if you're reading a text about a football game, or if you're reading an article in Sports Magazine about what happened, and if you don't know the vocabulary, then you're not going to really understand what's going on. You don't need the backstory. You need the vocab. We need to be able to dig deep on those vocab words and know what they mean, how they're used, how they're being used, and how to use them in other areas. And so that's really what this chapter is about, is taking these words that we give our students and being very careful about how we choose the words that we're really going to hammer in and work on and help them understand really truly what these words mean, and give them a better understanding of how to use the words properly and how to use them across content areas, and to use them in general instead of just hearing them in a text. How we can use these words, how we can teach our students to use these words. And so this chapter I think it does a great job in showing us how to find those words. And so that's what we're going to do, is we're going to learn how to find those words in our text. I'm so sorry. Okay, so first, how do we choose the words we're going to study? Well, the number of words should depend on the student's age and the grade level and the amount of time you're able to devote to the knowledge building instruction. So if you have little kids, just a couple. The text talked about stopping at 10. It said that more than 10 words was just too many. You just really didn't have the ability to really dig deep into them. And at what point are you just giving descriptions or synonyms, so that the student can know the word and move on? And that's not the point of this. The point is to dig deep in these words and really find out, and to have a good understanding of what the word actually means for comprehension. So just defining them and moving on isn't the purpose of this chapter at all. So we really want to keep those between 5 and 10 words. It says to start with fewer words, to devote an ample amount of time to study them. This will help give multiple chances to practice the word through reading, through speaking, and through listening tasks. Okay, so step 1. Step 1 is just writing a list of words. In the example shown on the side of your screen, it's a list of words. They put on there the page numbers. It does look like there's little notes. The bottom says environment and adaptation do not appear in the text, but I'm going to add them to my list because they are central to the big idea. We'll discuss that in a little bit as we go up. So step 1 is from the Touchstone Read Aloud text, and we know about Touchstone Read Alouds. Identify a pool of potential academic words for teaching. So you're just going to read the text and you're going to pull out some words. It's as simple as that. So pull target words from a text that will be reading, talked about, and analyzed in the interactive, collaborative manner that will guarantee students encounter the word authentically and its original context. When I first ran across that, I was like, whoa, that's not okay. I just stop and think about that for a second. When I'm creating a lesson plan and I'm putting in the vocabulary words that the students need to learn, I think about, we're going to introduce these words at the beginning of the lesson so that the kids, when we get to that point in the read aloud or book or whatever it is we're doing, then those kiddos already know, and I'm preparing them for what they're going to hear, and they're going to be able to understand what it means. This actually to read it out loud and let them come across it themselves to make it authentic. See if the context of what they're reading is can help paint that picture for them for that word to be able to make original context. So I love it. I mean, it's one of the things you think about, and then when you're creating lesson plans, maybe I don't put that into practice. And I know I've done it. I've done it in the classroom, but I really like that it pointed that out for us in this chapter. So let it be authentic. Come across it with the kids and go from there. So there are some sticking points that they discussed in this chapter. Just some questions that come along and you're like, oh, what do I do? So one of the ones is, this says what is an academic term isn't in my touchstone. I think it's supposed to be if. I didn't spell check. My apologies. So what if an academic term isn't in my touchstone text? Well, like you just saw on the previous slide, I'm going to put it in there because it's part of the big idea. So if it's relative to the big idea and will you be used in the text later on, put it on there. It's your list. You're the boss of your classroom. Add it to your list. Because as we go through step 2 and 3, you can take it off. It's not there forever. So put it on there. It's okay. What if I highlight more than 10 words? Okay, so I just said put it on your list. It's okay because you can go back, which is totally true. But also keep in mind that some words can be very easily defined. So like this says, some words can be briefly explained, illustrated, or understood if provided a synonym. So if I'm telling my kiddos about a chair, and they're like, what's a chair? Well, you're sitting on one. Okay, right. I probably don't need to put it in my lesson or on my list. Limit words that will be beneficial for the students and studied more deeply than just simple words if you can. But again, it's your list. You can take it off later. And then the third one is excuse me. What if, oh my goodness, what if I'm not sure words to highlight? I probably should fix that before I turn this in. I don't know if I can. So if you don't know what words to highlight, choose words that increase the student's depth of word knowledge and not just words that appear in multiple texts or curricula. Okay, so what does that mean? I'm still not understanding what words to choose to highlight. Choose words that could be thought-provoking. Choose words that could be content-specific that you haven't run across yet, but you know you're going to run across later, Choose words that may even have a double meaning or a blend or a prefix or a suffix you want to discuss. Put those on the list, and that's okay. Again, you can take it off later. So we are going to create a list. I found a short video. It's just a read along. And so when you're watching this video, just kind of think of a couple words that you could use in your list. I'm going to warn you, it's a very simple video. I spent hours, oh my gosh, way too much time looking for videos for this Panopto. And so I kind of have to go with what I have. So this is, like I said, this is just a read along. You can fast forward through it if you feel you need to, or you can watch it and pick up a couple words and kind of see if you can find just a few. I only found a few, but it doesn't really tell me what grade it's reading. It's pretty young. So anyways, I'm going to start talking and I'm going to let you watch the video. Okay.
Mr. McLover.
Hey readers, we're reading Pizza and Hot Dog Meat Burger by Mr. McLover. Pizza and Hot Dog are eating some burgers when Burger comes up. Burger says,
Oh, snap. No. you are not eating some burgers.
Pizza says,
We are eating burgers. Don't be so dramatic.
Burger goes on.
How would you like it if I ate a slice of pizza and a hot dog?
Hot dog says,
I don't care if you eat hot dogs. Why do you care so much about burgers?
Burger says,
That is so hot dog. Of course you don't understand.
Hot dog says,
Do you want to join us for a game of frisbee?
Burger says,
No way. Next time you pack a lunch, make sure it doesn't have a burger.
It is quiet for a bit. Pizza gives Burger some fries as a peace offering. Burger smiles. He was only grumpy because he was hungry. That was a close one. And that's it. See you later.
Okay, so how do I go to... Okay, sorry. So from watching that video, a couple of the words that I picked out that I would put on my list were dramatic, grumpy, some slice. I would put those words on my list, and then when we get to 2, you'll be able to see how we evaluate those words that would be on the list. But I just wanted to kind of show you how, you just read a book, read along, and pick out some words. So, okay, so on to step 2. Evaluate all potential academic words on 2 dimensions. We're going to evaluate them on usefulness and we are going to evaluate them on complexity. In the text, I'm super sorry. In the text, there's a worksheet that looks like this. Hopefully you can see it. I put a picture of it on there. And so what they do is the words get written into the potential target words, and you just write your list down, and then we're going to evaluate them. They're going to be evaluated if they're for a test. You just check it off. Is it for a big idea? Is it for a big idea to come? Is this word across content areas? And then check it if this word is a particular content area, and you would just add that mark. This usefulness category is studying words that will support learning now, but especially later. It's kind of those building block words that they're looking for. Are these words necessary for understanding? You need to ask about these words. Are they central to talking and writing about the big idea? Are they connected to the big idea in the past and future instructional cycles? And are these words central to understanding, discussing, and writing in a variety of academic content areas? So when you're thinking about these words and putting on your list, these are how you want to evaluate these words, and just some thoughts that you want to keep in mind when paring them down. The complexity portion of that same list, it's just the last 3 columns on that checkoff sheet, is the complexity. The complexity is choosing words that are unlikely to be learning in other content or in passing, but are central to making meaning for the academic text. So you may not learn about them or read about them now for a while. But for what you're learning right now, those words are important. So there's conceptual abstract. So like before when we talked about a chair, right? You can easily define a chair. You can give a synonym of what a chair is. Those are concrete nouns, just like a table on this one. Conceptual abstracts are words that require steady or extended discussion to grasp the concepts they represent. So to transform a community consequently, those are words that aren't so easily to define, that can be used in different ways, and words that can, like I said, spark a conversation. And my son just got home, so he might pop in. Sorry. Then there's polysemous. One sec. I have to record this video for class. I'm actually live right now, so I need you to walk away.
I want to stay here.
No, please.
I won't move a step.
No, out. I will be done hopefully soon. Say goodbye to my classmates. Shut my door.
Bye, classmates.
Shut my door. Hard, all the way, please. Sorry. I'm so sorry. He just got home from his dad's. Okay, so the second word that I can't pronounce, we're just going to go right to it. It is multiple related meanings when they are used in different context or subject areas, like volume. Volume's a great example. We use volume when I yell at my son. I use volume when I turn on the radio. I use volume when I measure a cup of water. So those are different ways to use volume. So that's the word that I can't pronounce. I don't even want to try. Morphologically, I can't pronounce that one either. Challenging. The third one, adding or removing prefixes or suffixes can change the meaning or grammatical form of a word. So words like transform, transformation, transformable, and transformative, adding those suffixes change the way the word's used and what it means. And that's that third column that we'll check that box if you get to it. We're going to move on. Okay, so step 3, finalizing your list. Now it's time to narrow down your list of words. and see where they fit in your criteria, see what words can work best for you, work best for the kids, and to really dive deep into that deeper meaning. So we're going to narrow down our prioritizing individual words that meet multiple criteria. One of the criteria is think about words as a set. So if you had multiple words that had different suffixes or prefixes, you can put those in a set and put them aside. Maybe you could focus on those words. You just kind of want to see what words, what's your purpose? What do you want your kiddos to get out of this? What's going to help them understand it best? What's going to really relate to that big idea that they're going to be able to cross content area with? So really think about those things when you're making your sets. Choose words that best support literacy development. How are they going to use this in the future? How is it going to build them up now? And then mark off words that are relatable to terms or concepts that are previous or upcoming. So maybe sometimes you kind of want to start by taking things off the list. Take things off that you've already kind of touched on. Take things off that seem pretty easy. Take things off that you're going to come to next time because you know that they're there. You've already kind of looked ahead on your lessons. So maybe you don't even have to worry about it. Maybe you can just get rid of those words right away, just to pare down that list a little bit. And then you'll see what words you have left, and you can always just reevaluate from there. You don't have to reevaluate just once. You can pare down a couple times. Alrighty. So this chapter really focused on choosing your words and paring them down, making sure that they are aligned with the main idea, making sure that you're using words for your kiddos that, really foster that big idea and really get them and really making sure that they have the meaning and the purpose and that they help with that big picture, right? That dig deep and reading comprehension. It's huge. You really want to make sure that you're giving kids a full understanding of what that word is, how that word can be used. We can go back to the word habitat. If you kind of know a little bit about it, okay, but if you really know what a habitat is and you can explain it and define it and describe it and give examples of it and tell me who lives in there and what in there, then you really understand what the word is, and that's the purpose of making lists that really focus on making sure you know what those words are. So develop academic vocabulary knowledge by focusing on a set of well-selected, targeted words that correspond with the big idea and the touchstone text. I had a little bit of trouble finding videos for you guys to watch. I came across this one. It's pretty funny. It's the what's not to do. Remember how I said early in the video that I'm going to give you a whole list of words and you're going to learn them? This is a great example of just a fun video that is, well, honestly, I'd probably do it to my kids because it's funny, and I would, and this teacher's pretty, but probably not any way to learn a vocabulary word, or a spelling word for that matter, but it's a fun video to watch, so I'm going to let you watch it.
All right, going through the list with the spelling. You're checking your own list. Here we go. The first word was Blorski. I lost my Blorski at a carnival. B-L-O-R-S-K-E-E. E-E. The next word was tangentine. I eat my spaghetti with a tangentine. That it's T-A-N-G-E-T-E-E-N. Tangentine. The next word is spiku. Look, there's a spiku. S-P-E-E-K-U-Z-S-L-M-N. There's silent letters at the end of that one. Yep. Spiku. S-P-E-E-K-U-Z S-L-M-N.
What?
Yep.
Chinese word.
It's not. Nope. It's actually from somewhere else, not here. The next word was a matter. Students said they were sick. I said, what's a matter with you? W-A-Z-A-M-A-T-A. What's the matter? What's the matter? The next word is slippert. Be careful when you're sleeping. There might be a slippert in your house. Slippert. S-L-I-P-E-R-T. Slippert. Nice. The next word is ch-ch-ch. The horse was angry, so I said ch-ch-ch. That's C-H-C-H-C-H. Nice. Nice work. The last word is Rolaskatox. Rolaskatox was surprised when Jinx took the crown. That's R-O-L hyphen
What?
A-S-K-A hyphen T-O-X. If you didn't get the hyphens, I'm sorry, you got that word wrong. The word is Rolaskatox. The next word was spinach. My favorite food is spinach and artichoke dip. That's S-P-E-E-N-U-C-H. Spinach. The next word is shabola. Be careful that you do not catch shabola. S-H-A-B-O-L-A-S-K-P. More silent letters. S-H-A-B-O-L-A-S-K-P. Shabola. The next word is gur. My friend told me a secret. I looked at her and said, gur. That's G-U with an umlaut. That's 2 dots over the U. R-R-R. G-U with an umlaut. R-R-R. Your next word, number 11, is April Fools, because this is an April Fool's joke! Close enough. April Fools. Congratulations, turn in your test. This will be on your report card. All right, going.
Okay, sorry, yeah. I love that. I love how he's like, it's not even April. Yeah, when your test is on report card. So, anyway, that's chapter 6. Thanks, y'all.